Today, the name Ralph Lauren is synonymous with success, sophistication, and style. But for the man born Ralph Lifshitz, the way he started out in life could hardly be any different from that. The story of Ralph Lauren's transformation, not only in his personal life but also his business, is a testament to the power of imagination, boldness, and confidence. And in today's video, I'm not only going to reveal to you how he was able to completely transform himself and build the life of his dreams, but also what you could take from this and apply to your own journey. Hello, my name is James, and I am on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. Ralph Lauren was born Ralph Lifshitz in 1939 to Jewish immigrants in the Bronx. The two-bedroom apartment he grew up in, the school he went to, and the kind of people that he was around was a far cry away from the exclusive polo matches at the Hamptons and elite social circles that he would one day become a part of. Ralph was very much an ordinary young man on paper, but he had the ambition to create a life that would be far beyond anything he'd ever experienced himself. His mind was filled with fantasies about families like the Kennedys, the Southern gentry, the Ivy League university campuses, and very importantly, the golden age of Hollywood. He would literally fall into the fantasies of the movies of that era, wrote biographer Michael Gross. He truly did project himself into the scenes in which men like Gary Cooper and Cary Grant were playing. He sees the characters that populate his dreams and visions, and that vision, that ability to step into a fantasy world, Ralph brought to the fashion business. While working as a store clerk at Brooks Brothers, Ralph went to his first ever polo match, and he completely fell in love with what he saw. Not only the high society elegance, but also the pure aesthetics of the game, the way the players and the spectators dressed. Ralph's transformation really began when he changed his surname from Lifshitz to Lauren at the age of 19. But he wouldn't bring his vision into life with business until he was 28 years old. He launched the brand Ralph Lauren with a $50,000 loan and pretty much no money in the bank. It was certainly a big risk to take, but he had confidence in himself that he could bring everything he'd seen in the movies, everything he'd seen in his mind, to life with this brand, just in the same way he was with the way that he personally dressed. And very importantly, Ralph built the brand on his own terms. He's even said himself that he hates fashion. At the time Ralph launched his tie collection, men were wearing skinny ties. The slim tie was still the fashionable choice. Yet he deliberately went for a wide tie with bold, vivid patterns, completely going against the grain. Ultimately, Ralph created a brand and created a lifestyle based on his emotions and his gut feeling. And he made the clothes that he wanted to wear for the places that he wanted to go. What you thought Cary Grant was wearing, you could not walk into a store and buy, Ralph Lauren said in an interview in 1993. The things that I made, you could not buy. You could not find them anywhere. But Ralph's vision and style was anything but one-dimensional. Of course, he is known best for that preppy, that waspy Ivy League aesthetic that's come to pretty much define the American upper class. But if you walk into a Ralph Lauren store today and go shopping, you could find outfits for a Manhattan businessman, for a sailor, for a cowboy, for an English gentleman even. And because Ralph was an outsider, because he wasn't born into an old money family in New England or on Long Island, he was able to inject a sense of glamour and creativity that the legacy brands like Brooks Brothers and the old money families themselves could simply never think to do. But really, Ralph wasn't trying to fit in with a group of people to whom he didn't belong. And he has embraced these contradictions, not only with the way he lives, but also with the way he styles his clothes. For example, you'll see him throw together two pieces from two completely different styles that for most people would never work, but he makes it work. Importantly, because it is an authentic expression of style for him. And for Ralph, it's always about just being the most creative, best dressed version of yourself who goes to the best places and does the best things with his family. Now, you don't need to own a publicly traded fashion company to take inspiration from Ralph Lauren. Instead, take this as a lesson. Take this as a lesson in what happens when you romanticize your life on a grand scale, when you have the ambition to dream of the man that you could become, and you figure out a way to get there. But it's very important that you develop the boldness and the confidence to live the life that you want to live. Ralph could have very easily stayed in his lane, working as a store clerk, living in the Bronx, being a regular New York kind of guy. But he simply believed that he was capable of more. He brought the aesthetics in his mind to life with his clothing, and in that process, he ended up creating the very life that he wanted to live. Ralph is definitely a strong believer in fantasy, and some people might accuse that of being inauthentic or disingenuous. But let me ask you this. To you, what is more authentic? Is it more authentic to stay in your box and to do what's expected of you by your parents, your school teachers, or your neighbors? Or is it more authentic to stick to the vision and the true ambition that you have deep down? Is it more authentic to boldly express that, disregarding what other people may think and the judgments that they may cast? I would certainly argue the latter. Much like an entrepreneur like Steve Jobs, Ralph Lauren was able to bend reality to his will. And I want you to take his story and his success as proof that you can do the same. Beginnings don't get much more humble than Ralph's, and success doesn't get much greater than the company and the life that he built. You have the ability to create your character. You have the ability to create the game of life that you want to play. And this doesn't mean that you need to go and build a huge multinational company and become worth $10.9 billion like Ralph. It's simply about living the life that you truly feel you want to live. And to do that, you're going to need confidence. You may need some guidance, you may need some support. And it certainly helps to be around a small group of like-minded men who are going in the same direction as you. Now, if you want to work with me personally within my small mentorship group, we can work on things like your confidence, your communication skills, and your ability to express yourself with style and dress. I've got a small number of spaces currently available. If you'd like to book in a time with me, you'll find the link down below to choose a slot while there is still availability. Whether you decide to work with me or not, don't be afraid to take action and live the life that you want to live. Otherwise, you'll only look back decades from now full of regret and full of ideas about what you could have been if only you'd been bold and confident enough to take action. I'm incredibly grateful to Ralph, not only for the clothes that he has made, such as this necktie, but because he serves as a shining example of what can happen when a man allows his imagination to go to work. Then he has the creativity and boldness to bring his vision to life. And the huge success of Ralph Lauren as a fashion company, the fact that millions of people around the world wear his clothes, or at least aspire to wear his clothes, goes to show how valuable it is to romanticize your life and become the man that you want to be. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.